Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for this week's nugget. We're going to be looking at Excel spreadsheets this time and how we can see them bigger, smaller, two at a time, really cool things like that. So let's get started. I'm in a bigger spreadsheet here, and you may or may not know about the little plus and minus down on the bottom right hand corner. And take note that there's a little percent down there as well. So if I just go plus, 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 it brings it bigger. Minus, minus, minus makes it smaller. It has nothing to do with the font size or anything. And you might also know that if you use your wheel combined with the control key, that does the same thing. I actually use that all the time. It's like super quick. So you can kind of judge here what you want to see. So let's say that you wanted to do some data entry and you want it really big on your screen. You could say, well, I'd like to work on maybe these few people here, however many there are. I just want those. I don't care about anything else right now. You could be doing some zooming and stuff, but you could also go select it first and then go down to the bottom right hand corner where we have that percent, and you can click there and it gives you a whole bunch of options here. One of them is fit selection. So whatever you had selected is going to be nice and big for you. So I could go here and I could type all my stuff and everything would be just great. Now, if you have too much stuff selected, then, you might get a little bit more than what you asked for. I didn't ask for column F, but because I had this many people, in this case, selected, it said, in order to give you that many people, then I'm going to have to move my screen around a little bit. So that's kind of neat. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple more things. I have two spreadsheets open right now. And rather than always going into the bottom here and clicking on the other one and then going back and then clicking on the other one. So rather than going back and forth all the time, then what we can actually do is we can tile them. Now there's a couple ways to do that, and it depends on if you want to be able to scroll and see them both at the same time, scrolling. Wow, that's cool. So we can go into view and we can go arrange all. Now if we go tiled or horizontal or vertical, however you want them, we can go okay. I like tiled. Tiled works well for me because usually I want to go from top to bottom. But then when we scroll down, the other one's not scrolling. So you have to kind of click on the other one and then scroll, and then you have to go back and click on the other one and scroll. And sometimes that's okay. Like in this case, they don't really match. But let's say that they did match and you want to be able to just see them. So I'm going to line it up here a little bit. And then I'm going to go into my view tab and I'm going to look for something called synchronous scrolling. Now I have found the button, but it's grayed out. There's a little bit of a trick to this, and it even tells us here, it says to use this feature, turn on view side by side. So I'm going to click on that button. It's just right above it, view side by side. And it chooses to put them here. Sometimes I've seen it where it puts one under the other. So then you would have to go back into view, arrange all, and tell it what you want. So sometimes it'll put them side by side. Sometimes it'll put it one under the other. So once in a while you have to go back into arrange all. Now I've got the synchronous scrolling turned on here. If it wasn't on for you, then you can do that. And now when I use my wheel or my scroll bar or whatever, it will scroll for me. Now I can also go to the right. That works well too. So back and forth and back and forth. So that works really well for two workbooks. Let me show you how to do more than one worksheet within a workbook. So it's the same thing here, except it's within one workbook. So notice I'm going to minimize this one and I'm going to maximize this one. It makes a difference if I had minimized it or if I had just maximized the other one. Okay, so the other one is still there, it's minimized. So I'm going to want to have maybe this completed one and this one called completed rates and tables. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on that one. So I want to have those two side by side so I'm not always flipping back and forth. So this is what we're going to do. It's almost the same thing, except if I go right now into arrange all, tiled, nothing really happens. If I didn't minimize that other one, it would be here, but it's not. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to click on the other one and I'm going to say new window. New window. So now I have two. I have one window is this one and the other is the original one. Now I'm going to go arrange all. Still doesn't work. How come? Because that little guy at the bottom here, would you like to do Windows of Active Workbook? Yes, I do. Now, if that still didn't work for you, like it's not working on mine, I actually have another monitor here and I can clearly see it on my other monitor. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drag it over to the other monitor. So they're both in the same monitor. Man, what a lot of things to remember. Now I'm going to go arrange all, tiled, make sure that Windows of Active Workbook is on. There they are finally. And I can flip back and forth between the sheets at the bottom if I want. Sometimes it doesn't remember which one that I started on. So there we go. Now we can take a look at them, both at the same time. When you're done, you will want to close one of your windows. Don't think it really matters which one. And now you can maximize and you're back to just one window. So I hope you have fun with that and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.